Good morning. It is Monday, May 18th. I have today off. I actually half forgotten that I'd taken it. I took it off because the possibility of playing D&D with my buddies yesterday existed until Nick wasn't available till next weekend. But I get up this morning and I'm like, wait a minute, do I work? No, I don't. So I laid around a little bit longer, got up. Now, I do have stuff still to get done because I need to return that hard drive to Amazon. I got to get it up to the UPS store, and I want to do that today. I also kind of need to get a little bit of groceries, so I'll make a trip out for that. Otherwise, kind of a lazy morning, trying to figure out, well, what can I do? And there's something I've been needing to do for a little bit. I keep track of my finances on my own. Like where I spend my money. And for a bit, there's been discrepancies between my records and what my credit card company says. Now, those discrepancies say that I have like $500 more than I think I do at this point. And when they're saying that I didn't spend money, I'm not like jumping on it like, hey now, you tell me, because, it's the other way. But I also can't go spending that $500 if I am not positive that there's not some held transaction somewhere that it will eventually post. And so I gotta find it. So I went to the website for my credit card, downloaded the comma-separated values document of it, and I get to go through one by one and just check off line items. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that sounds super fun. No, it doesn't. But, it will be if I find, I duplicated, this week's charges and added an extra $500 worth of expense, and I actually have that money, and I just suddenly feel like I get $500. That will be fun. Okay. And so I've gone from 500 and whatever discrepancy to around $50 discrepancy. Some things of just, one of them was my mortgage payment a few months back, I put on my credit card. But I don't charge it to my credit card, I charge it to my bank. And I had it there too, so the bank looked fine. But I just had duplicated it, and so it was just subtracting a huge chunk. And that was a big part of it. I also had like $50 charged from MCDM, Matt Colville's thing for the Kingdoms and Warfare book. Now, that shouldn't have been a $50 charge. It should have been a $10 charge, because I'd already paid the $40 through Kickstarter. And also, that $10 hasn't been charged yet. They're saying they're charging that like in December when they ship the thing. So there is a payment, that's the kind of thing. It's like there can be payments that are like, that I have in that really just haven't billed yet. So that's part of what I'm looking for. So, I did free up a fair bit there. I've also found lots of little nitpicky, a few cents off here, or Amazon is terrible. You know how they say at the end, estimated tax to be collected? And then they change it by the time they ship. So I've corrected a bunch of those, and I think the way to solve that is just to keep money in an Amazon account, so it just bills through that, and that, I don't have to keep too close of track of. So I've done a lot, and I've gone through this year, and I've gotten it down. So that's just mistakes that I've made throughout this year. Now, I want to get it perfect, so obviously that means I'm going to have to keep going. But it's like noon. I'm going to head out and do my little errands. Oh yeah, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. I better get like a mask and stuff. So annoying, this pandemic, isn't it? Errand 1, the UPS store. Okay, and that was definitely the easiest. Amazon said, we think this will be the easiest option for you. And I was like, the one where I have to go take it somewhere? And they're like, we'll also come pick it up. if you want, but then you have to put it in a box and get a printer and print out a label. You can just drop it off. And I was like, we'll see. And yeah, that was definitely the easiest way. I was like, I have the and she just said, like, picks up the thing to scan the code, and I just face my phone towards her. She scans, and she's like, yep, here's your receipt. You're good. It's like, yeah, whatever that thing was. But yeah, I just gotta get a few groceries before heading home. And doing said grocery shopping at Walmart. Basically all the produce. And there's some that's a little low in stock, but that's back. And I mean, I haven't caught up here in ages, so I'm like, let's take a look while I'm here. In general, meat seems a little light, but available. They even have some frozen wings. Mom's commented buying for ages, and after buying me one bag and getting me hooked on them again. Actually, yeah, they got all sorts of things are mostly back in stock. Locally, at least. Things like big bags of cereal. You can see there are just some empty holes up though. And like, you know, you go by here and there's like they have all bacon, but they don't have a whole bunch of all bacon. Or some empty areas. But, you got most of your varieties. Okay, there are some definite things missing in the frozen pizzas department. And frozen pre-made dinners going both sides, up and down. Lots of things missing in this little section, so yeah, it's not all back. And while there are some things missing, they still have the types of chips that I would be getting anyways. Though a bit low on some of them. And of course, not everyone notices this small little do not enter signs. So you get lots of people going the wrong way in the aisles because they don't know to look for it. What's they gonna do? And obviously getting the chips, the plan is to make the buffalo chicken dip. But I think I'm gonna get a third thing of chips and get like some pre-made whatever salsa or something. So I'm looking through those options too. I'm gonna get Subway while I'm here. Take a sandwich home so I don't have to cook right away. So there was a trip to get some groceries. Yeah, a few things. Lots of stuff low on stock, but very little stuff completely out of stock. Decided I could make do to record in there thanks to Aldi finally having hand sanitizer I could throw in my pocket, and just like, I'll just use it between touching everything. But now, time to get the groceries home, eat my sandwich, and get back to spreadsheets. And it's a good thing that I enjoy spreadsheets as much as I do, or this would really suck. I kind of don't get the feeling that most people like them as much as I do. But it's fun going through and comparing numbers and finding the little discrepancies and fixing them of, oh, I switched, you know, the penny column with the dimes column. Oh, silly me, I got those inverted. Let's switch it back, and now we're a little bit closer to accurate. And it's fun. It'll be really fun when I actually have everything accurate, assuming I can get to that point. Fingers crossed. That'd be cool. Otherwise, you know, really, I guess the only thing I think of when doing it is I wish it was spreadsheets for the auction. Because it's like that time. If we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, they'd probably be doing the auction about now. And that makes me sad. So I wish they were doing it. And I hope they do it shortly after, after things really open up. I mean, I'm sure that, they could do it social distanced. They do part of it online, it just, those aren't going to make as much money. But part of the fun of it is that gathering together as a group and such, and so hopefully, whether through just herd immunity being enough and things being able to really open up from that, or getting a vaccine and no longer really having to worry, whatever. Hopefully, things open up and we get to have that option in not too long. For now, I guess I'll have to get my spreadsheet fixed by balancing finances and figuring out errors. That's bad. Anyways, despite the fact I am having some computer issues, I think tied to my budget software, like it keeps crashing the computer now. It's worked fine for like a month or something, and now it's crashing it whenever. First when I tried to save it, and now when I try and back it up, whatever. Hopefully I can get it to work, or possibly move it to the laptop and get it to work there. I don't know. But despite all of that, I think I was able to get things fixed and balanced and such. Things seem okay now. I don't know. I can't really check because it keeps crashing. But I think I found more things that got it around close to correct. Although I suppose if I can't get the software fixed, it doesn't really matter, does it? Okay. So I came up with an idea. See, I was getting ready to try moving the software and stuff over to the laptop. And so I was going to take the install file and put it on a thumb drive. Then I'm like, oh, and I'll need to grab my records. It did show my spending. So I was going to grab that file too. And I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe that's the problem. And so I took those records, the history, and I moved them, as well as all the backups, into like a quarantined file where it doesn't know to look for them. And then I launched the software, and here it is introducing me to the software, and it launched fine. I think that might be corrupt. Hopefully one of my backups will work, at which point I just have to do that backup, do the last few changes that I made earlier today, or worst case, go back to yesterday and spend a couple hours going through that spreadsheet again. But if that's what it takes for everything to be working again and not to do blue screen, worth it. I'll do it again. I'll spend another 2 hours to not have my computer crashing and have to replace it and spend hundreds more dollars. That's okay. Hopefully it'll be easier than that, but I'll do what I can. It's working. Okay, that was it. I had a corrupt save file. And my most recent backup had all of my changes. All it really took was taking that little brief moment to pray, and everything's fine. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus. I was like, because oh man, that's scary. I mean, that was a scary thing, because I've gone through a lot of work. I like to keep my finances all checked out. And I like it because I like to know where my money is going. It is the way that I be smart with my money. I say that right now, where when you look at my income versus expenses, but also it's because you see this piece of pie of my spending. This is the computer. So it's all stuff that I've saved up for months and months. So right now I spent a lot more in like the last month or two that I've had as income because of the computer. But the fact is, like, I balance and save for it deliberately. It's okay. No, but that's good. Things are working again, and I've closed and reopened it several times. No more blue screens. Praise you, Jesus. Thank you. At this point, I'm basically sick of looking at the computer. I still got a bit more editing to do. Hopefully I'll feel up to it later. But it's like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, if I want any chance of having buffalo chicken dip for dinner, which I do, I better start shredding chicken now. So, just pulling this out, and this chicken is huge, which actually should make this a lot easier, because I can probably get enough chicken just from the breast meat, which is the easiest part to shred. So I'm having to shred all the little bitty things around it that are more difficult. So hopefully I can just cut those off, shred them up, get the dip in. Yay. And an hour and a half of getting things ready later, I got buffalo chicken dip again. Yay. I mean, you can tell, I mean, it's like an hour of like real work. And then like about a half hour with cooking it and letting it cool down enough to eat it. And like the entire time it was in the oven, I was taking out the garbage and doing the dishes, and so it still feels like just kitchen work, because that's all stuff that, you know, I basically had to do right then, because making the food, that's stuff that, you know, I mean, I'm working very hard to not have a gnat issue this year. Praise God, so far I'm having mostly success, because I'm stuck home. And as much as they drove me crazy when I got to leave during the middle of the day, I just, I'm working hard to try and keep them out. But yeah, so I have some dinner, finish editing a vlog, hopefully, and then get to bed. Thank you for joining me. Join me as my journey continues. Bye.